Great, so we're going to get started. Thank you everyone for joining today. As I mentioned, my name is Chase Palmer. I'll be the procurement representative for this RFP. If you have any questions during the solicitation process, please only reach out to myself as the procurement representative for this at ropalmer@panyj.gov. My email is also on the email that you received to attend this briefing, and it's also going to be on our procurement website and on the last stage of this slide. So our agenda today is going to be just a welcome from myself that we went through as the procurement representative. Then we're going to hear scope of service highlights for this project from Magdalena Cadis. We're then going to go over to supplier diversity with Alex Rollison. We're going to then have scope of service highlights from Will Summer. And then we will go over the procurement process with myself again as the procurement representative. So to start, I'm going to kick it over to Magdalena.
Thank you, Chase, and thank you all for joining. I want to start by saying that the reconstruction of Berth 1012 is a key to a 30-year reinvestment program for a new reconsolidated bulk district and a pathway to maximizing land use and ensuring that the Port of New York and New Jersey will be prepared for the next supply chain disruption. Berth 1012 is a 1,050 linear feet public berth on the South Peninsula at Port Newark. I want to draw your attention to the picture on the right where we can see the Port Newark Channel. Towards us or to the north is the Auto District, and to the south is the Bulk District at Port Newark South. You can see here that this area serves commodities, historically has served commodities such as edible oils, salt, road salt, as well as Belgian block and concrete. Just for reference, Berth 1012, if you can see, there's the edible oil tanks is to the west or to the right on your screen on the Port Newark south. Berth 1012 has been out of service since 2021, and its reconstruction is a key component of the Port Master Plan that is envisioning a bulk area consolidation as well as a container terminal expansion. This project is federally funded through a 2023 Port Infrastructure Development Program grant that is we are going to be talking about and touching upon a little bit later. Let's move on to the next slide on the project scope. Fundamentally, the project will replace the berth infrastructure to enhance its structural capacity and long-term stability. Specifically, we are looking to demolish the existing out-of-service wharf, which includes timber piles, bulkhead wall, and concrete deck. These are the components of the current wharf, and reconstruct it using pipe pile supported high-level platform with a steel bulkhead. And it is meant to be built meeting all the Port Authority New York climate resiliency guidelines. We're building for the future, as well as all our current design standards and codes. Moving on to the next slide. Our project goals. Our goal is to modernize the wharf to accommodate future criteria and prepare, of course, for future climate change and necessary adaptations. We are looking to minimize the disruption to upland and adjacent port operations during construction. This is a very vital part of port operations, and during construction, we are looking to minimize the effect that we have on those critical operations, not only for the port, but for the entire area. Of course, we are mindful of cost and efficient funding usage, and effective pricing of the total project cost is something that we'll be looking at as well. And of course, we are sensitive to our timeline. So we are aiming to complete the construction by the end of 2028. And of course, we are building to the future for the future. So we want to ensure that the project meets all sustainability and infrastructure guidelines as set by the Port Authority of New York and New Jersey. Moving on to the next slide, I want to talk a little bit about the project funding. The project is fully funded under the Port Authority's capital plan. In 2023, the project was awarded the Port Infrastructure Development Program grant, and as such, um, we are obligated to meet all applicable federal requirements, including domestic content, or also known as Buy America. Um, this project has a good faith MWB and SDVOB effort requirement, and it is also currently undergoing a NEPA review process. At this moment, I'm going to give it up to Alex Rawlinson from the Diversity Office of Diversity and Inclusion. Thank you.
Thank you, Magdalene. Good morning, everyone. My name's Alex Rollison. I'm the Manager of Project Planning and Development in our Office of Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion here at the Port Authority. I'm sure some of you have heard from me before, but I'm going to go through the slides again just so we're all familiar with our supplier diversity program. On this slide, this shows the mission of the Port Authority, which is to keep the region moving. We do that through 6 priorities and 6 standards. And you can see in the lower left with the yellow dotted dashed line, diversity, equity, and inclusion is one of our standards. It's very important to us. And diversity, equity, and inclusion flows through to our procurements and solicitations, such as this one. The next slide shows the 6 different certification programs we offer at the agency. You can see the 4 blocks. And as Magdalene mentioned in her slides, there is a good faith effort to include the following business entities. So minority-owned businesses, or MBEs, women-owned businesses, or WBEs, and service-disabled veteran-owned businesses, SDVOBs. The remaining certifications that are shown on this slide are not applicable to this solicitation. Okay, so the next slide, we have a lot more information in a few different places, right? So on our public Port Authority website at panyj.gov/supplier diversity, this goes through our entire supplier diversity program, what it is, why we have it, etc. So feel free to go there to learn more. We have a public website at panyj.diversitysoftware.com. So this has a lot of things on it. Most relevant probably for this group is one. This is where the public can go and search for certified firms. In all 6 certifications that I mentioned on the previous slide, you can search for firms by commodity codes or scopes of work on that website. In addition, this is where all of our certified firms go to submit certification and recertification applications. So if there are questions about our certification process, how to become certified, how to submit a recertification application, we have contact information for our certification unit within the Office of Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion. You can see the phone number there, 212-435-7888. And our CERT help email address, certhelp@panyj.gov. This information is also on our supplier diversity website at the top that I mentioned before. And then finally, we encourage all firms that are looking to be certified to also register with Procurement at paprocure.com to be considered for future business opportunities. Thank you all. I will turn it over to Will next, I believe. Thanks.
Thanks. So I'm here to talk about the local business participation. If you want to go to the next slide, Chase. The Port Authority encourages recruiting and engaging local firms, also referred to as LBEs, to promote economic growth within the community by offering opportunities for LBEs to participate in significant projects in their local communities. The program also creates a pathway for local businesses to contribute to the project success while building a sustainable, inclusive business environment for the future. For this specific project, the design builder will utilize good faith efforts to ensure local enterprises are actively involved throughout the project's duration. To qualify for this, to qualify for the LBE participation credit, a firm must have its principal place of businesses located within a designated Tier 1 or Tier 2 tier zone, which you'll see on the slide here, for at least 1 year. This ensures that businesses are directly contributing to the local economy. Thank you, and I'll throw it to Chase.
Great, thank you all. So I'm going to wrap up our presentation today with the procurement process. I know some of you have already been involved with the process. We issued a RFIF, or request for industry feedback, in the fall. This was not a pre-qualification of any sort. It was just a way for us to gain industry insight for potential upcoming procurement. Based on a lot of that insight, we decided to go with the following procurement strategy. This is going to be a two-phased procurement with an RFQ and then an RFP. So for the RFQ, any firm that's interested can download and submit on the RFQ. And then we're going to shortlist a select number of firms. The number of firms that we're shortlisting will be in the RFQ, but then for the RFP phase. And then once we have the RFP, we will go through a series of collaborative dialogue meetings, and then we'll ultimately be selecting one firm for the award phase. Some key important milestones and dates for our anticipated procurement schedule can be shown here. So our first phase is going to be releasing the RFQ documents. This is going to be tentatively released in May of this year. During this process over the summer, we're going to allow firms to have a period of time where they can ask questions. So if you have any questions regarding the RFQ, putting together your team, any of the requirements that we have, our deadline for any of those requests will be in July. All of these requests will also be answered via addendums on our website. We're then going to have the statement of qualification due date of August of this year. And then after this due date, we will be shortlisting a select number of firms, and they will be notified in Q4 of this year. The second phase of this procurement will be the RFP phase. For the shortlisted firms, we will then be issuing the RFP in the fourth quarter of this year. Also in the fourth quarter of this year, we will be having a project site visit and an outreach event if you need to find any subcontractors to work with, or if you are looking to add more components to your team, as Alex and Will mentioned. During the fourth quarter of this year into quarter one of 2026, we will then be hosting a series of collaborative dialogue meetings. During these meetings, we will have the project manager, some of our technical staff, and myself meeting with all of the shortlisted firms, where we can go over any of your concerns or questions before you submit to your RFP. So if you have questions regarding a unique design that you want to do, or any questions regarding construction that we didn't address in the RFP document itself, these meetings are a really great way to flesh out those ideas before you go and you submit your final RFP package. We're then going to have interim submittal of design in Q1 of 2026, followed by technical and price proposal due in Q1 to Q2 of 2026. We anticipate having the agreement and our preferred proposer selected by the end of 2026, in line with our grant funding obligations. All of these documents and timeframe will be released with the RFQ. If there are any changes to them before we release the RFQ, we will provide the updated timeline. And also on our website for Bonfire, we will provide any addendums with changes to these milestones. If you're not familiar with our website, under the Port Authority website, we have an alternate project delivery opportunities tab. So for this project, it will be posted under this tab. This is an example of what the tab looks like. You can see the proposal number, the due date description, how to download instructions, and then if you're interested in either being a subcontractor or finding subcontracting opportunities, there is a spot where you can either view the list or add your firm to interested firms that primes would be looking for. This is all on our Port Authority website, and then it's done through a website called Bonfire. And if you're not familiar with Bonfire, all of the instructions are on our website for how to sign up for an account. And that's all that we have for today. I know it was a brief overview, but we wanted to update everyone on this project. I know we've been announcing it over the past few years, so this is the procurement process that we've decided to come up with. If you have any questions, please submit them via email to myself at ropalmer@panyj.gov. Any answers to these questions will be issued via an addendum on our website when the RFQ is released. So I just wanted to say thank you all for joining today. We will be releasing a copy of this recording and the presentation on our website as well.